Okay, all right. So as the scene opens up, um, what unfolds in front of you guys is basically a scene of more or less chaos in the city. There are sirens going off everywhere. You see signs of minor destruction to some of the buildings in the near downtown area. Um, you guys have arrived in a couple of Hero Core, basically like uh, vertical carriers. These are the things that basically they're like larger, heavy-duty, almost helicopters, but they have I guess, the struts on them where they can take off vertically, and then the struts tilt, and they can gain speed in order to move over long distances a little bit faster, which is the primary vehicle that Hero Core uses to basically transport you guys around when there's a large number of you. Um, and as you guys kind of like come through the city and get to an opening amongst the buildings, you guys can see that down beneath you are a number of large figures that are at least like a good, like maybe 15 or so feet high, 15 to 20 feet high. And they appear to just be rampaging throughout the city. You can see people that are screaming and hollering, like I said. There's the signs of emergency sirens and lights as vehicles kind of try to make their way through the crowds of people that are dispersing, and the abandoned cars that are here and there. And let me see if I can get a picture so you guys can see what you're up against, and then I'll give you guys some more information so you know what's going on.
Yeah, I was going to ask, have we heard anything from the Hero Court about these people, like other heroes engaging these things?
Yes, what I'm going to do is
Okay.
yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm getting fancy here. I'm gonna jump back in time a little bit once I get this picture so you guys can see it, and then we'll get to the point to where we are when the game opens up, kind of.
I'm sorry, guys. I had to step away. Did I miss anything?
Other than the city being terrorized by some basically giant robots, no, you didn't miss anything.
Oh, that's all.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Let me open this up. See if it's not a very great picture, but I think it'll do okay. Give you guys an idea what's going on. Okay, can you guys see that?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, all right, okay. So
So it's Sentinels.
yeah. So that's what you guys see. You see these large robotic beings, basically like just from what you can tell, they're just on a rampage. For at this point for no rhyme or reason. So like I said, as you guys kind of break through like the smoke, cloud that's kind of over the city, you guys see these creatures, okay, or not these creatures, but these bipedal mechanical things. And then at that point, you see that one of them takes notice of the hover vehicles, that you guys are in, and you see that the eyes of this robot begin to glow as it apparently locks upon your position, and they lash out. So we'll stop there, and then we'll go back. Okay. So you guys are sitting in a Hero Core conference room, basically. Okay. Everybody that's here is there, and Director Sanchez is standing in front of you guys, and behind him on the wall is a huge monitor. Okay. And it's basically showing highlights of, it looks like, surveillance photographs and some video of different things that have been going on in the city over the past few days. Okay, so as this scene opens up, we're gonna have Tempest in all his glory. He's gonna be talking to Director Sanchez, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go throughout the roster here and give everybody a chance to give us, just a brief introduction of their character. Try to keep it short, guys, and we'll keep going with the story. So Director Sanchez turns to Tempest, and
Right.
he points that that stubby finger of his at you, and he hits a button on the data pad that he has in his hand, and you see that there is a picture of the warehouse, the Nakatomi warehouse that you guys had broken into basically a few days prior to this. Okay, and you see that there is you see a scene of the ambulance there, and also the EMT drivers that are kind of sitting there, kind of rubbing their heads and kind of, looking like they didn't know what hit them basically. So Sanchez turns to you and he says, "Is that the warehouse that you were telling me about the other day?"
Yeah, that's the warehouse, and that's that piggly-faced son of a bitch that was bringing the bodies in. You guys talked to him yet, or what?
He hits another button, and the kind of the viewpoint kind of goes back a little more, so you can see what more is going on, and you see that there's police vehicles there. There's Nakatomi security. Okay, remember them? You see that their vehicles are there as well, and you see that Sanchez turns to you and he says we didn't find any evidence of any kind of mysterious bodies that were just laying around in there.
Of course not. I done told you they were going to come in and clean the place out. You think they're just going to leave that shit laying around, Sanchez?
He says, though, as our investigators got a chance by Nakatomi, we were allowed to come in there and take a look around by their security. He said that a bunch of you guys were actually ID'd as being there.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
And he says, well, what am I supposed to say? How am I supposed to cover Hero Corps when you guys broke in there illegally, basically?
Look, you just tell them I did it. I don't mind. You honestly think they're going to leave evidence laying around incriminating things of the sort? Of course not, Sanchez. You of all people should know this.
He turns and points to. He's gonna point to Synapse, and he says that Polymer told me that you guys might have had some more information regarding this screwed up situation. You want to let me in on anything?
Thought I emailed everything to you. Did I forget to do that?
What'd you say?
I said he looks at him. I thought I emailed everything to you. Did I actually forget to do that?
He looks at his data pad and says, "I don't have anything here." So refresh my mind. What'd you find out?
I pull out my cell phone, look through it. Oh, I didn't send it. Here you go.
Okay. All right. So what do you pretty much let him know?
I basically let him know everything we found out about the hospital and missing bodies and what was happening to all the Jane and John Does.
Okay. So you let him know about Dr. Corpus?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's cool. Okay. All right.
Sitting there saying this, he's like eating a slice of pizza and feeding the pepperoni to Daisy, who's laying on the table.
He, Director Sanchez, he kind of rolls his eyes, as you do that, and he says, so he takes another glance at his data pad, and he says, "Now, who's this connection that you got this information from?
Don't worry about that."
Okay. All right. He shakes his head. Dan, um, Sanchez looks towards you, and he says, "We decided that even in light of some of the situations that are happening here, there's stuff that just doesn't add up. Even when dealing with somebody like Tempest here." He says, "So I decided that I was going to bring in some more backup in order to give you guys a chance to possibly tie this up into as neat of a package as possible."
What are you trying to say?
I didn't hear you.
What are you trying to say, Sanchez?
I'm saying that with you wild cards, you notice that Polymer isn't here, right?
Yeah, big whoop.
He says, with you wild cards running around tearing up the streets and everything, I figured that you were going to need some help, like it or not.
Got it under control.
All right, Dan, Sanchez turns to you, and he says, stand up and introduce yourself to your new team members, if you don't mind. And he kind of leans back on the table.
Okay, well, I stand up. I'm about 5'10", white male. Looks like he's probably in his mid-20s. I'm wearing some very weird-looking, futuristic-type clothing, with like lights that kind of glow around on certain parts of the seams, like this kind of radiant green color. And I kind of look over, and you see there's like a stylized law enforcement badge that looks similar to APD's badge, but it's slightly different, and it's green. Got some kind of green metallic metal, and I'm looking over everybody, and I just say, "I'm Navarre, Officer Navarre." The guys here are calling me Hollywood. I don't quite understand where that comes from, but that's my name, Navarre.
Might
All
be
right,
on the back that you're going to a rave, Hollywood.
A rave. Excuse me, one moment. I open my hand up, and you see some holograms pop up, and I start hitting a couple buttons. It looks like I'm Googling something.
A rave is a party, usually where there's a lot of drugs, sex, and alcohol.
I see. Well, I don't think we're going to be getting involved in drugs, sex, or alcohol tonight, but I could be
Speak
wrong.
for yourself.
Only if we have time to have some fun.
All right, nice, Dan. Okay, Sanchez turns to his right. Okay, and he gives your guy a finger, Jerry, and says, "Glare, why don't you introduce yourself to your new teammates?"
Okay, I'm Glare, and let me see if I can show you my picture here.
Nice, nice.
And basically stand about 6 foot tall in this armor. And Sanchez asked me to come here to help out. I'm going to do the best I can. He's not really very talkative, so.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. No problem. No pressure or anything. Okay.
He's a little intimidated by Tempest, so.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay, all right. His bark's definitely worse than his bite. Okay, all right. All right, Teddy, why don't you go next?
Stratagent, and I've been assessing you all ever since we came in here, but I can determine weaknesses and kind of a tactical guy. But I hope we can survive whatever Sanchez has ready for us. But his attire is kind of like Batman, basically. Moon Knight, white instead, kind of the utility belt, kind of the vigilante type. But that's about it for him. He's just kind of like staring you all down, trying to figure you all out, just as you all just sitting there. So that's him.
Okay. All right, Ghost. Last but not least.
All right, so so he stands up as this kind of like 30-ish kind of guy. He has some glasses on and has like a normal, like just a shirt and jeans, and he's like, yeah. So name's Galatnix. Yeah, I'm kind of in symbiotic relationship with Hero Corp because they supply the resources that I need to continue my experiments, and I provide service, hero service to to the corp, and that's why I'm here. And then just sits down and then starts scribbling down in some notebooks and some in the notebooks that he has, and just some numbers and whatever.
Okay, all right, okay. All right, Sanchez kind of looks at you for a minute or two, and kind of leans forward to kind of maybe get a glimpse of what you're scribbling down in that notebook.
He kind of like covers over, covers like
does he?
pulls
Okay.
he pulls his notebook towards him and then continues to scribble down on it.
Okay, he kind of looks like, okay, all right, okay. Then he kind of takes a glance. He takes a glance at the data pad that he has, and then kind of looks at your notebook again, and then kind of shakes his head, He turns and he points back towards the big screen behind him, and as more basically images kind of fly over it, you guys see, amongst other things, a huge, it looks like a crater, basically in the middle of the street, in one area of the city known as the Drops, specifically in a section that's known as Lucifer's armpit. And you see that it looks like somebody just basically dropped a bomb in the middle of the street. Of course, you see more emergency equipment and police, Avalon City policemen, kind of crawling over the area looking for survivors and everything. And then you also see like citizens kind of milling about with everybody's got their camera phones out, taking pictures and videos, and selfies with the crater in the background, and everything. And you guys see kind of in the midst of this another hero that you recognized, whose name is Polymer. And Polymer's kind of unique in that he has or he's trying to facilitate a really positive relationship with the city as a whole, but he's kind of almost like in a rock star kind of way, so a celebrity kind of way, He's got like supposedly action figures in the works, and he's supposedly doing like a reality show you guys have heard maybe, and it's not so much that he's a ham, but he just seems to be really obsessed with presenting himself as a positive icon of sorts, and you can see him kind of talking with some of the firemen there, and some of the police officers, and things look like they get kind of heated, and you guys see that Polymer kind of throws his hands up, as if, hey, there's nothing more I can do or whatever, and he's out of there, The director looks back at you guys and points another finger at Tempest, and then also looks at Synapse, and he says, "What about that? Can you guys explain that situation?"
Explain what? The big ass hole in the ground?
Yeah, what happened there?
Looks like the ground got a hole in it, Sanchez. Thought you were detective first class.
I think the bad guys hit a pocket of methane and there was a massive explosion.
Yeah, what Synapse said, yeah.
Okay, are these two lying?
No, you guys, if you so choose, it's up to you. They're basically, long story short, Tempest is known. He has a reputation for being kind of like a loose cannon. For some reason, usually the situations that he has to deal with, he usually ends up tying them up one way or the other, but it's usually not very pretty. So it seems like Hero Core, from what you guys can tell, because he seems to be a fairly effective hero at the end of the day, that's why they put up with all this crap, basically. So there you go.
Gotcha.
That's pretty much what it is, okay? Because when the rubber meets the road, he seems like he's pretty dependable. It's just getting through all that exterior, gnarliness and stuff,
Peel back the
So,
layers. Gotcha.
right. So, okay. So, long story short, you guys basically get kind of like an idea of some of the mysterious kind of goings on that have been happening around the city lately that has caught kind of Hero Corps' attention. And one other thing that I want to mention real quick is that there are two other heroes that kind of added some more information or pieces to the puzzle. There was one hero known as Slate, and then there's another hero known as El Cuervo. And these two guys basically figured out that there was a pattern of disturbances that were, once again, centered on this area of the city known as the Drops. Okay? They're actually utility workers who were trying to figure out why certain areas of the city were having issues like seismic activity and some other kind of strange goings on, especially. Huh?
I had nothing to do with that.
Oh yeah. Especially it turns out leading in the sewers, and they can show you guys that there's a map and there was kind of like a pattern going on. Okay, so those two guys basically figured that out. Okay, what was going on? You guys aren't sure specifically, but there seem to be a few threads that are matching up. Mainly, a lot of you guys have had encounters in the sewers, obviously, with certain individuals. Do you guys tell them about the Rat King as well?
The what?
The Rat King? Yeah. You forgot. That's all right. Okay.
Well, no, I'm just like, okay, whatever.
You forgot. Yeah, this was a few sessions ago, so that's fine. We'll just say that you guys pretty much disclose whatever information is pertinent. That's fine. So, that being said, huh?
I had did we ever follow up with the Crypt Keeper?
That's what we're about to get into now.
Okay.
Finally, that's what we're about to get into now. So, so Director Sanchez, he turns to you guys and he mentions that thanks to Tempest and Synapse, we kind of tried to look into the doings of Dr. Corpus, and surprisingly, it turns out that we haven't been able to find a whole lot of anything on him. He almost seems to be possibly too clean, too innocent, He has been director of the Avalon City Hospital mortuary for the last 3 years, but he's remained he's remained off the radar. Nothing really too surprising going on. He says going by you guys' lead, I don't know. It's a 50-50, chance that he may be involved with this or he may not be. He may just be an innocent bystander, or maybe he's being manipulated by some forces we don't know about. What do you guys?
I kind of throw a bow at Synapse, right? We're sitting pretty close to each other. As Sanchez is carrying on, and I'm like, yeah, this guy Sanchez says it's surprising he didn't find out anything on Corpus, right? Son of a bitch doesn't even know what a hole in the ground is.
Synapse just kind of smiles and feeds another pepperoni to the cat.
Is that loud enough that anybody else could hear what you said?
I mean, he wasn't really being too quiet about it.
Nah, he's a big mouth. You probably heard him.
Yeah, you get a head shake with that one. It's like, oh my gosh.
So you guys can kind of hear Director Sanchez his voice kind of goes into a drone, kind of in the background. And what is your do you guys have any kind of plan? I'll put it kind of on Tempest and Synapse basically. Do you guys have any idea of what you may want to pursue?
I was definitely wanting to inquire with the Crypt Keeper about what was up with these John Does just kind of missing, on the documentation, especially with what had transpired in the warehouse. Like I'm fairly adamant about this.
Okay.
I don't know what Synapse have in mind.
I was going to shake the little bastard down. Polymer said it was a bad idea for me to pull him 1,000 feet above the city and threaten to drop him if he didn't tell me everything.
No, we got an image to maintain.
Okay. All right. So you guys want to check out Dr. Corpus or what?
Oh yeah, definitely check him out.
Okay. All right. So at the end of Director Sanchez's lecture, more or less is what it is, he basically tells you guys. He says all of you guys are active as of now. You're active Hero Corps members on duty. Each of you guys has a calibrated Hero Corps communicator. Okay, whether it's integrated in your armor or however you guys want to say it works. It can be an earpiece. It can be something on your wrist. Huh? Yeah. So you get another one. He slaps it down on the table in front of you, and so you guys can say it's integrated into your to your equipment any way you want to. And basically that's just our way of getting around the I want to tell so and so this. But you guys do also know that these communicators are also location GPS pingers as well. Okay, just so you know.
Not a fan of that.
Dave, does Hero Corps have a logo or any kind of uniform or anything like that?
Not yet, no. Unless we come up with one, which will be cool. But no, not as of now.
Not of yet. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're just kind of an incognito corporation.
Well, we'll say that they do have a logo, but I don't have anything official to say. Yeah, this is it, guys.
Okay.
So,
well,
yeah.
if they do have a logo, then my clothing suddenly changes to a dark, a very what's it called? Tactical-looking gear with the logo in place of where the badge was.
Okay.
And I'll reach my hand over the communicator, and the palm will kind of open up, and little things come out of it, and grab the communicator and kind of just bring it inside, fold it inside my hand, and then it just collapses back into itself.
You kind of absorb it in, huh? Okay.
Exactly.
All right, cool. Okay, all right, okay. All right, and then you can kind of tell that it starts to integrate, with your systems and everything, so that it's, you can just use it. You're all good. Okay. All right. So as Director Sanchez slaps the wrist comm down on the table in front of Tempest, he says, and as active duty members, you guys know the paperwork you signed and everything else that's in store for you. He says, so just be ready. We'll be keeping in contact and may call you guys at any moment's notice. And then he turns to Tempest and he points a finger at you and he says, remember, I got my eye on you, and that means Hero Corps has its eye on you, Tempest. Keep your nose clean.
Longer.
All right, and he walks out. Okay, so you guys are in the conference room by yourselves, I should say.
Just before he walks out, I look at Sanchez and my eyes glow as I kind of activate my powers, and the field wraps around my body, and we have our eyes on you.
Okay, he adjusts his glasses and kind of takes his cigar out of his mouth and kind of gives you the eye, and then he goes out the door. Okay. All right. So, you guys know that, and to bring everybody else up to speed, and I'm sorry, I had to kind of dedicate some time to kind of giving you guys an idea of what the heck's going on here. But at this, there's a director of the mortuary at Avalon City Hospital. His name's Dr. Corpus.
What's his whole name?
Dr. Decane Corpus. And Heath and Josh think that he may be supplying Nakatomi Corporation with dead bodies, Jane and John Doe's. Okay, and what are they doing with these bodies, Heath? Maybe.
I suspect that they are integrating their organs, most prominently their brain, into some form of cyborgs, giant cyborgs that are under the control of Nakatomi.
Okay. All right. So in a nutshell, that's what's happening.
And they know this because they've had previous dealings with this company or this individual?
We encountered one. We had to fight one.
Yeah, they encountered one and they lost the body, basically, the evidence.
What, a robot with somebody else's brain in it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's the thing. It's a dead brain, supposedly, or a near-death brain. So it's not an active person, but that is kind of perplexing that if they're using that dead matter as a form of cyborg.
Mm-hmm.
So, if let me see here, what is that? I'm sorry, Teddy, I can't. What's your banner say? Stratagent?
Yeah.
Stratagent, yep.
Stratagent is kind of voicing this out loud.
Yeah.
Tempest kind of shoots kind of like a sidelong, glance at him. And he's like, look, I can make the earth do what I want. The wind is at my beck and call. You honestly don't think that they can do something with a brain, son?
No, it's just perplexing that they have to use that specific brain matter of someone dead. Why couldn't they use like an animal or a gorilla if they just want dead matter? So it has to be something specific.
A human brain's a little more complex than the average cat.
That's true, but it's dead, so it's all the same once it's dead.
And you guys hear Daisy, she hisses at that.
I look over, no, even dead, a human brain is capable of processing much more information than a dead animal brain. Man, I look at Daisy. Well, except for you. You're abnormal.
So what's really different that they could plug in? You said that you had one, but you lost it.
It was misplaced.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Of no fault of my own, by the way.
Oh, I trust you. I know. You're a stand-up fellow.
Dan, as these guys are talking, you notice that on the big screen, on the wall, you see that there is a Fox Action News report that has come up. Okay.
Oh, God.
And you see that it looks like it's something major going on.
I get out of my seat and walk over to the screen.
Okay. All right. As you get closer to the screen, you see that the volume starts to adjust, and starts to go up, and you see that the reporter on the news is basically, in a nutshell, telling the audience that with a unprecedented agreement between the OCP Corporation and Avalon City Police Department, that they have decided that with the influx and increase of crime, including meta crime, around the city, that they have decided that OCP is going to donate basically a bunch of new revolutionary crime deterrent equipment to the police department, and it's known as the Paladin Initiative.
Have I ever heard about anything? I mean, in my 6 month tenure with the police department, had I heard anything about that?
Very good, very good. You have heard that especially from the the policemen's union, you've heard that they've been very worried that this corporation, OCP, is basically going to do something that is going to uh, what's the word I want to use? Is going to possibly um, put a bunch of policemen out of their jobs, basically. You know, it's going to upset the department because they've heard that there's some kind of automated system or something that's supposed to be that's being kind of like slowly integrated in the city that may jeopardize, you know, the welfare of the police department.
Okay.
Something very high tech.
Is everybody else behind me still talking, or is anybody else paying attention to the TV?
It's up
I'll
to
probably,
those guys.
I'll probably still be talking science because that's kind of what my guy is, biologist and psychologist. So
I would pay attention to the TV because
If Fox News is on, zero attention is being paid by Tempest.
Okay. So that's pretty much what they talk about, and then you guys also, well, not you guys, but Officer Navarre. Well, how did you pronounce it, Dan?
Navarre.
Navarre.
But
Okay.
maybe you could just use Hollywood. That's the
Okay.
code name
Okay.
that,
Okay.
that Hero Corp's given me, even though I
Okay,
don't
cool.
understand it.
Okay. All right. You see that, or Hollywood sees that. Where is it at, man? Hollywood sees that there is a kind of like a it looks like a press conference of sorts, you know. And you see that there are a bunch of OCP like scientists, tech kind of guys with the white lab coats and everything, you know. And they've got like the protective glasses over their faces or their faces and everything. And you see that they are unboxing a bunch of things that look like that.
How big are they? I mean, are they like
These are just a little bit larger than man size.
they're like 6, 7 feet?
Yeah, like let's say 7 feet.
Okay.
All right.
that'll get my attention too.
Okay.
All right. I immediately pull up a virtual computer
Mhm.
in front of me, and I start tapping into the internet and
Mhm.
finding out everything I can about OCP.
Okay, cool. Okay. All right. Okay. So with that being said, let me tell you some information about OCP real quick. Okay, so is there anything else that you other guys that are kind of talking bad about Director Sanchez, is there anything else you guys want to clarify while I'm getting that information for Hollywood?
no, unless Tempest has epiphany about why the human brain is specifically or being used by the robots, I'm done with the conversation. So.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. And then let's see. What about Galatnix? Does he have anything else? Is he anything you need to know?
no. Well, no, I guess not because I've been listening to. He's been scribbling on his notebook, but he's
Mhm.
been kind of listening to what's going on,
Okay.
and so yeah, he just kind of like shakes his head, like kind of like maybe not bored, but just not amused and not interesting, I guess. Not interested.
Okay. Do his scribblings actually mean anything, or do they have any kind of?
Yes, they are. Yes, it's on the project that he's working on.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I don't know what the
Okay.
project is yet, but
Okay, that's fine. Okay. All right.
but
Okay.
it's a project that he's working on. Yeah.
Okay.
For
Cool. All right.
for the Hero Corp.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Here, let me make a note of that. Okay. So Hero Core project, and it may be something, or it could possibly. It's up to you. It could possibly be something that also Polymer was working on with Hero Core as well. He was actually trying to see if he could get more actually private and or government funding. I think more so private funding to get a more up to date headquarters built for Hero Core. So that may be something.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No.
I
Okay.
do have one question for Tempest.
Okay.
What did the Tachyon say about this?
Who's Tachyon?
He's the residential scientist of HeroCorp.
He may not know. There's a bunch of different guys, so.
Yeah, and any eggheads recently. They all look the same to me.
Okay. 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 Okay.
All right, so Hollywood, basically, Dan, you get a quick rundown of OCP, basically, and you know that
David,
they're. Huh?
I just want to mention real quick. I'm going to step away for just a minute to use
Okay.
the restroom. And
Okay.
Tim isn't paying attention to Fox News anyways, so this.
Okay, all right, no problem. It's Omni Consumer Products. Okay, is who they are, Dan. And basically they're known as a kind of like a mega corporation that have a lot of different divisions. They've got their hands and sticky fingers in a lot of cookie jars, and their products can range from generic consumer products all the way to military weaponry, and even they've got some private space and aeronautic projects underway. And then in the past, they've also been known to deal with other markets, kind of like nonprofit supposedly stuff, but hospitals, prisons, and space exploration is really not non-for-profit if you dig deep enough. Okay. And then lastly, you find out that they have had a lot to do with the funding and expansion of Avalon City. Okay.
Okay, so what, like roads, construction?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to do a search for what was it called? The
Paladin Initiative, or
Paladin Initiative, and see if there's anything on that.
Okay, so what I'm going to have you do, first roll of the night, is I'm going to have you do what is called a gather intel move. Okay?
Okay.
So that's going to be 2d6 plus your investigate stat.
Which is 0.
Okay?
So I assume I'm using dice stream?
So whatever you want to use. Yeah, you can use whatever you want to use.
Well, I mean, is that what everybody's mostly using? Is
Yeah,
dice stream?
we've been using dice stream. Yeah.
So how does that work exactly?
Do you have that on the left-hand side of your Google Hangout menu? Okay, so you just click on the yellow. Yep. Okay. There you go. Okay. All right. So your total is 7. Okay. All right. So you do not find anything other than kind of like a press release. Kind of some generic, cheery information like, this will revolutionize, crime prevention, way of the future, blah, 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 but nothing concrete, nothing good.
Nothing. Okay, so what if I hack into some of OCP's low-level security to see if I can pull anything off their server?
Okay, you can try to do that. Okay. All right. So what I will do then is I will give you this. Actually, I'll let you go ahead and make another gather intel roll.
Okay.
But what you're gonna have to do is, you're just gonna make another roll.
Well, this is giving could potentially be using my difficult power profile for cybernetic.
And what that is gonna do is, let me look at your sheet real quick. Okay, so what that's gonna do is
it's in the difficult band. I don't know
is
what the
it? Okay. Nano cells, cybernetic right arm. Okay, okay, I see it. Okay, use to communicate or control. Okay, all right, so that's your difficult power. Okay. What? Don't roll. Did you roll yet or no?
No, not yet.
Okay, all right. So don't roll. So here's how we're gonna do this. So basically, you guys see how well. How does it look when you're doing this, Dan?
All right, so
Start.
basically, when I don't find anything on the internet,
Mm-hmm.
I just wipe my hand and the hologram disappears,
Mm-hmm.
and then I walk over to the I'm assuming there's a computer or a laptop in this room.
Sure. There's a fancy with all the lights and everything. There's a computer station there.
Probably got some kind of very fancy screensaver on it. So I'll just my palm will open up and some wires will come out and they'll attach to the computer,
Mhm.
and then you'll see some lights start to flash,
Mm-hmm.
and then the computer will just turn on and it'll start to interface.
Okay. All right. So as you walk up to it and you see the Hero Core logo, in 3D kind of rotating on the screen, and then when you actually link up to it, it blinks, and then you see all this raw data, kind of like looking like the Matrix, just scrolling up and down the screen itself, just like flashing even almost faster than a normal eye could tell. And you realize that especially remotely, that the security, the firewalls are just ridiculous. It's not necessarily that they are very hard to crack per se, but the firewalls seem to try to divert queries elsewhere. You know what I mean? So instead of you like punching through the security, it's almost like you're just like bouncing off and going elsewhere. Okay? So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to actually do a push move when you make your roll. Okay? Because it's security that's tougher than anything you've had to encounter before.
Okay.
Okay?
So how does the push roll work?
You basically just roll a flat 2d6.
Okay.
No stat. And tell me what you got.
Not so good.
Okay, and yeah, so you got a 4, looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I got to clear first. Okay,
You
I
got
got
to clear first. Yeah. Okay. All right. So now, with that 4, that's a failure, but you have the option of burning a bond in order to bump that up.
Well, it'll bump it up by 2, right? Which would only be a 6.
Well, it'll bump it up to the lowest success that there is.
Oh, okay. All right. So, because it makes sense with the narrative,
Mhm.
I'll burn one of my bonds with the police department, especially since I'm currently doing something that's
Very good.
I know it's not within the bounds of legality,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'll burn a bond with the police department.
Okay. So burn one bond with police. Okay. That's very good. Okay. All right. So okay. All right. So let's see. What are you really looking for? What are you trying to find out exactly?
Well, it's not like I'm trying to find out what the master plan with these things are, but I'm trying to find out anything I can find out. Maybe, like I said, some programmer or some designer that wasn't totally
Backdoor.
efficient about hiding whatever he was working on.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some email communications, stuff that the average person is not going to kind of look for. I'm not looking for blueprints or weaknesses.
Okay.
Just backdoor information.
Got it. Okay. You actually do find an email. Okay. And it is from someone named Dr. McNamara. Okay. And his title says Lead Researcher, Paladin Initiative. Okay. All right. And the email is directed towards. Man, I think I wrote his name down this time. His email is directed towards Lisa Simmons, who is the Director of Security for Nakatomi Corporation.
All right.
Okay, you got all that kind of sort of?
Yep.
Okay. And basically the email says that I'm running out of time and money. I'm not sure. Actually, it says we've been running into complications regarding supply and demand of material, of genetic material, he says.
Okay.
Okay. And lastly, it says we'll push ahead with Paladin Initiative. Regardless, I won't let any of those. I won't let. There's no way Hero Core can stop me. Is basically what it says.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
Perfect.
Okay. Now here's the catch. Okay. Even though you burned a bond, okay, to get an automatic success, okay, because it was a push move, you still are gonna suffer a moderate condition.
Okay.
Okay. So, what do you think? Is there any kind of physical repercussion that happens? Perhaps dealing with the programming, the security that you had to break through in order to get this information? Maybe there's like I guess they would call it like a black ice program or something, you know, that attempts to push you out of the system. So this snippet, this email is basically all you got. Okay. So
Okay.
we'll say that maybe there is, what would we call it? We could call it, and give a suggestion, guys, if somebody can think of anything. But I want to give you a condition that kind of is like circuitry burn, or
What
you know,
about
Circuit overload or overloaded.
overload, minor overload. Okay.
neurological feedback?
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so let's call it black ice burn. How about that?
That sounds very comic booky. I like it.
There you go. We'll call it that. Thanks, guys.
I missed this. What's OCP stand for?
It is.
What was it? Omni Consumer.
Let's see. I gotta pull it up again. Sorry.
Omni
Yeah, Omni
Consumer
Consumer Products. Yeah,
Okay,
Omni
okay.
Consumer Products. Yeah. Just so you guys know, I got that from RoboCop. So. Okay.
Kind of familiar.
So you guys see Hollywood kind of. Well, Dan, tell us what happens when this neural feedback hits you and kicks you out.
Well, I mean, at 1 minute I'm frantically going through pages and you see like all these holograms of all these like folders in the air like you would see on a computer, and I'm shuffling through them and amazing, and then going down this, and all of a sudden I hit this black wall, and you see just my body just kind of shake, and everything just kind of shuts down, and my arm twitches a little bit.
Okay.
Hollywood, you okay over there? What are you doing?
I think we have a problem.
Okay. What kind of problem?
You'll have to give me a second, and I'm just kind of flexing my hand. My hand kind of stiffens up, and the flesh kind of peels back, and some little compartments open up, and little things come out where I can start to do some work on whatever the problem is. And I'm saying, do you guys know anybody named Dr. McNamara?
That I do not.
How about Lisa Simmons? And I'm kind of looking at Synapse and Tempest.
Yeah.
Because apparently they've dealt with, they've worked together on a few occasions and have been giving us the information thus far. So.
You guys need a refresher on who that is?
Oh no, I remember who she is. I was
Okay,
about to
all right.
comb her ass, but no one else wanted to.
So I'm just kind of asking you guys that as I'm simultaneously working on trying to repair whatever glitches in my arm right now.
So you see Tempest, he's been kind of sitting back in his chair, you know, one of those like fancy schmancy computer chairs. He's had his feet kicked up on the table, arms behind his head. And, you know, at the mention of the name Lisa Simmons, he kind of brings his feet down, leans forward in his chair, and gives you kind of like a hard look. You know, one side of his face is really badly scarred, but you can just kind of tell through the emotion of the left side that he's intent on this name.
Which one, Simmons or McNamara?
Simmons. Matter of fact, I ran into her no more than a couple of days ago when investigating this Nakamura factory or whatever the hell it was, where the robots were. She rode up with about a dozen of her goons and was looking to secure the location. What do you got on her?
She was looking to secure the location of what?
The factory, Hollywood, where we found the robot. The warehouse in Satan's armpit. That's what the kids are calling it these days.
Okay, well, Dave, is my arm not working anymore, or is it?
No, it's working. Yeah, you're fine.
Still working. It's just kind of glitched out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the compartment's closed back up, and I kind of flexed my hands again, and I said, "Well, I found this," and then my left eye gleams, and then you see a holographic screen pull up, and you see an email reading exactly what Dave was narrating about Dr. McNamara sending an email to the Director of Security for Omnicorp pertaining to running out of money and time and complications regarding quote-unquote genetic material.
So, what does any of this click with me exactly, David? Some of the more pertinent information.
Well, and when you say click with you, what do you don't know who this Dr. McNamara is? This is new to you, huh?
Okay.
But you do know that Miss Simmons is caught up in this some kind of way because you actually have you haven't encountered her before, but she's popped up before. So now you know that she kind of knows something about this Paladin initiative as well.
Okay.
So the only thing go ahead.
Well, you know, when Hollywood mentioned something about the genetic material or whatever, you know, instantly the image of those EMTs hauling those bodies in just kind of flashes through Tempest's mind again for a second.
Okay.
And, you know, he sees Miss Simmons, you know, pulling up in her, you know, black sedan or whatever, and the guards coming out. And he kind of levels his gaze at Hollywood. And he's like, yeah, this genetic material, I think that might have something to do with the bodies that the EMTs were rolling up there. We have, me and Synapse have a lead on something that may be involved with that I recommend we check out straight away.
Well, based on this information that I've just found, that sounds like a good idea.
Okay. So what do you guys want to do then?
Well, what is this lead? Where will it take us?
It'll take us to the source of the lead stratagem.
I meant where in the city?
The hospital.
Alright. Well, there's Avalon and there's Mercy's. Is there any other ones?
I mean, there's other hospitals that are scattered throughout the city, but those are the only two that you guys know that may be initially connected as of this point.
Okay.
And that's the thing, just so you guys know, if there's a location or something that is important to the story that we haven't made up yet, we'll make it up, throw it in there, and I'll keep a note of it, and we'll keep rolling. So, okay, so is it my understanding you guys want to see what the connection is between this this genetic material and the hospital, or without pushing you guys or kicking you guys in that direction, or does somebody have any other ideas possibly?
Can I pull up a picture of Dr. McNamara?
Sure. Yeah, you can actually.
Does he look familiar to anybody?
Let me see here.
Looks like an egg.
I would say no. Just off the top of my head, he would be someone that kind of keeps a lower profile, and nobody recognizes him. He's an older guy.
So he's not Dr. Corpus then?
I'm sorry?
He's not Dr. Corpus. They're not one and the same.
No. That would have been good, but no. No.
Okay.
Definitely, they're not the same guy.
Well, I look at both their images just so I know what they look like.
Okay, let's see here.
Simmons and McNamara.
Oh yeah.
I will say, yeah, other than the lead you all have, my only other thing would be do surveillance on Lisa Simmons, but that could be complicated. So let's go with the easier task of the hospital.
Yeah, that hasn't occurred to us yet. Good idea. Kind of rolls his eyes.
I'm just making sure you don't have rocks up there for a braid.
Surveillance on the security head of security for one of the largest corporations in town. Yeah, that'll be simple.
Yeah, exactly, Tempest. High five.
Why did you just call me by your name?
I don't know, sometimes I get confused, Synapse. I've been drinking since I woke up, alright?
So have I. I still know you're Tempest and I'm Synapse.
Is that McNamara?
You're muted, David.
That was Dr. Corpus, sorry.
Okay. Because see, McNamara looks kind of vampirish.
Nah, that's a figment of your, just kind of a figment of your imagination. I don't think so. And I'll have to get a picture of Dr. McNamara. I don't have his picture right here.
I am curious, though. What has...
3 eyes and crawls?
I mean, we've been in conversation, thus far.
Yep.
And kind of gleaming some information with Hollywood and Stratagent. What has Gleam and I don't know the other...
And Galatnix?
Yeah, what have they been up to this whole time? I'm curious. They just lurking in the background? Like creepers?
Yeah, well, he is, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't know. I gotta talk, David. I gotta talk this with you. Would I know, Dr. McNamara?
Maybe. What do you think?
I don't know. Because I don't know.
Don't say I don't know. Sell it to him.
No. I'm saying because you remember the company that was. I don't remember if it was you that was gonna come up with the company, or was I gonna come up with the company that I used to work at, where my accident happened.
Okay, so you want to say it was OCP is the company you used to work for?
No, maybe.
Come on.
Actually, well, since I think we're going in that direction, I think LCP. Yeah, I think that would be a good.
Well, why not?
Yeah. I think that would be a good choice. And could it be like a? Of course, it would be a different project that what we're looking at here.
What would be his area of specialty?
I think we had established it was like something to do with like solar energy or something like that. I remember.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
something to do with like photons.
Perhaps
I don't know.
perhaps you weren't aware that some of your research was going towards this Paladin initiative. How about that?
Yeah, that works. Yeah. Okay.
All right, so there you go then. So Stratagent Galatnix looks up from his note pad as he's been scribbling all this time, and once he hears the name of Dr. McNamara, you look up. Hey.
So I kind of look up and kind of like raise my eyebrows. The guy's like, "Huh, interesting." And then just kind of like keep quiet, just look at everybody. I don't know if they're looking at the picture or whatnot.
Continue that train of thought there, Galatnix.
Right.
No, okay, just don't say cool. Then go back doodling your notepad. Come on.
Gotta get this ball rolling. Come on.
Okay.
Got some giant robots to fight. Come on.
Okay. So so McNamara has been in charge, so I kind of stand up and then kind of like go over to the edge of the table, and then kind of like, hey, so you've all wondered why I've gathered you here today. Anyway, so McNamara, he was in charge of, as you know, as the project initiative.
Paladin initiative.
Paladin initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Now I never knew what the details were, how he conducted his experiment, what he used, and
he was
resources.
a real snobbish kind of elitist kind of guy.
Okay.
One of those guys, very, very, very intelligent though. But that was never in question. But from your brief kind of like exposure to him, we'll call it, you just got the feeling that he was pretty much like one of those my way or the highway type of guys.
Yeah, and I didn't work where he worked at. Yeah. I worked in the like kind of like a basement kind of thing, and just like far away from civilization. And but I knew that as soon as I saw him, and I knew that he was kind of like bad news, maybe. I don't know, but I never knew it to that extreme. So that's why I was interesting.
You don't have any idea what his connection with the Corpus guy is?
Nope, no idea. Never heard of that guy before.
Did he take any of your projects or experiments that you was working on?
If he did, I never knew about it.
Okay.
But nobody ever knows what happens inside that company. So.
Yeah.
Got you.
You just knew it had to do with some type of solar conversion of some sort.
Well, okay. If you worked there, why did you get fired or leave?
I didn't get fired, or I left because of an accident that happened, and they decided to shun me out after the accident. But Hero Corp decided to hire me because of my intellect, and we've been working ever since. That was I'm gonna say it was a few years ago.
If you don't mind, what kind of accident? Because this is it could be related because somebody could have set something up and had an accident because you was doing something you shouldn't have been. So,
So I'm like, so it has nothing to do with that. Well, at least I don't think it does. And then all of a sudden, I kind of like do one of my simple powers, which is I kind of like take the energy out of everything in the room, and then the room starts to feel like cold and all like there's like no energy. You guys start to feel like kind of exhausted and all that kind of thing. And then I just close my notebook and then just leave the room.
That's a minor ability? Everybody starts to feel exhausted?
Yeah, because my power is basically I kind of take the heat of the environment. I can either give it or take it away, and I can take heat out of people and actually put them unconscious or whatever it is that I want to do. That's one of the simples powers that I have.
Galatnix? Oh, so you bring the ambient temperature down the room.
He feels.
That's what I do now. Yes, that's that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, I'm not too affected by
You're
that.
draining energy from my body. I was like, what?
It's possible, but
Okay,
he doesn't do that.
I will say I do get a bond with you because you shared your experience of tragedy with me, so we get both a bond increase.
I do have to ask this: just heat energy or all kinds of energy?
Are you gonna tell him all that, or are you just leaving it
No, I'm just gonna leave the room. I'll leave that in the air.
Because if you take all kinds of energy, you would feel a serious amount of energy coming from the cat.
So, with the discussion of solar energy and power, what does Glare think about that?
Well, as soon as he saw the Paladin robots, the first thing he did was he called his father from the communicator in his helmet to tell him that OCP is moving in on their territory.
Very good.
Because we've been, because one of the reasons why I built the Glare armor was to be a prototype for a suit that could be used by police or military.
Very
so
good.
By them building a robot, they're now competing with my father's company for our business, and that's not good.
Perhaps you even notice that at first glance there may be even some design similarities.
Yes, and that has me concerned that they stole some of my inventions. And I'm trying to rack my brain if I can remember this guy McNamara now, because for some reason it's just too similar to what I designed.
Perhaps you've heard your father mention this guy. Maybe he was maybe they went to the same university, or perhaps were competing, within, similar the similar realms of design and, research.
Well, as I said, while everyone else was talking, I was staying silent. I was on the phone with my father, so did he tell me that he knows McNamara?
I think that sounds good. Yeah, if you're down with that, sure, of course.
Okay. It's also interesting what Galatnix said about his research into solar energy, since that's similar to what how some of my powers were. So it makes me wonder if somehow there's a connection between his work, my work, and then what McNamara's been doing with this Paladin project.
Okay, all right. So now we have that out there then, which is very good. That's what I want to hear. We actually we've got some story elements and some kind of cool connections going on that you guys didn't, I don't think, really realize at first. So that's good.
I guess I should actually tell everybody that then.
Oh, okay, if that's, yeah, okay, all right, okay.
Right. So so since I've been sitting there and nobody can tell my facial expressions behind my helmet, all of a sudden I say, my father knows McNamara. They went to school together. And one thing my father can tell me about this guy, that he likes to steal other people's ideas. And I'm pretty sure that Paladin design, he stole elements from my research that went into my armor.
So that's at least two guys here that have a good hint or have a feeling that this Paladin initiative is using parts of their research in order to facilitate things, which is interesting. So no matter what happens, what bad happens to the city, you guys are kind of at fault too, right?
Oh.
Not if he stole my work. That's.
I just threw that out there,
Alright, you created it. You knew it could fall into evil hands, so yes, you're possibly responsible for not locking it up. But anyways.
Hey, just remember what happened when Tony Stark's tech got stolen. He went crazy and started going after everybody with a suit of armor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's the question. Like, we could do surveillance on McNamara, if we want, or we could, check out the hospital because that's the easiest one to access, I think. And we could check that out, unless y'all have something else y'all could, think about. But
Dave, just to throw an additional connection, one of my origin books is what I carry. So part of that is wanted. Whatever you got, everybody else wants it, whether you did it yourself or had it done to you. So we can say that over the past 6 to 8 months, while I've been in the city and I've been working with ADP or APD, that maybe some representatives from OCP has actually contacted me and tried to entice me into coming to the company to get a look at the tech in my arm.
Okay. And how did you feel about that?
Well, I've been very, very, very non-sharing when it comes to any tech I have.
Yeah, because it could screw things up, right?
Because of where it comes from. So I basically have ignored or rebuffed any attempts to get a look at inside, basically get a look under the hood kind of thing.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, all right, that works.
That kind of like retcons a little bit of the questions I was asking about OCP, because then I would probably have some basic knowledge of OCP. But
okay, that's fine. You guys
maybe it was just one of several phone calls I got, and I just didn't really pay much attention to it.
That's fine. You guys can, as you guys are filling your characters out and filling in the gaps and making connections with each other in the city and everything, that's fine. I have no problem with that at all.
Okay.
We're working out a lot of the kinks here with this first session and everything, so that's fine, guys. Yeah. And just so you guys, see how this goes, any input that you guys have in order to make things cooler, I'm all for it. Don't be too shy. If it's something that doesn't really make sense or may not work, then we'll work together to make it work or whatever. So yeah, so do not be shy. Okay, no, that's cool, Dan. Yep, that works fine. And gives me some other ideas, so that's good. Okay, so that being said, is the hospital, is that where you guys are gonna try to check out, or what? Is that what I'm hearing, or anything else to kind of keep it going?
Just saying. That's where I'm going.
Okay, I have a question. So, are they having the display of the paladins right now?
Yes.
Okay, So, I choose a hospital because that's my field with the bodies and biology. So I do think the more technological people should go watch the announcing and the press release of the paladins.
Okay.
So
I know splitting teams bad in role playing games, but I'm just tossing that out there because that's kind of
Say that nonsense. There ain't nothing wrong with splitting the party.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll go with Tempest because that's my field. So.
All right. So who else, or what other ideas you guys got?
So I might have to. I think my guy's gonna stay because I might have to leave. I have to.
Oh, do you?
A little bit. Yeah, I do.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, that's fine.
So you guys can go ahead. Yeah.
We'll say that maybe Galatnix is gonna I don't know why that name is so hard for me to pronounce, man. Galatnix.
Galatnix. You don't even have to pronounce the T. It's kind of like silent Galatnix.
Galatnix is gonna stay behind and possibly see if he can do some more digging research-wise. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Research on what though? I might do just work on my own research. Yeah.
Okay. You're not gonna try to help the team out at all? Okay.
Well, he did storm out of the room, so I mean, he could just never come back.
Yeah, it's tomorrow, and I kind of gave him my 2 cents. So.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right, man. So thanks for sitting in.
Yeah, of course. Awesome. So you will gonna let us know whenever next week and.
Yeah. What I'll do is I'll try to at least let everybody put the word out at least Saturday or Sunday before, so that you guys have enough time to respond back and everything. And then the only other thing, like I said, is that this is a big group. Tomorrow night's group is the same size, so and
Oh, wow.
I'll get some feedback from you guys later on to see, if you guys got any suggestions or how you guys think the flow of things went. And I just got to decide that if 6s or 5 guys you guys feel it's too much, we'll have to work something out, But yeah, I'll definitely put the word out on the weekend before.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it was fun playing with you guys.
All right,
All right,
man.
thanks.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Take care.
Have a good
Tell
one.
me how you here.
Okay, all right. So we've got Tempest and Stratagent that are going to the hospital.
Yeah,
Yep.
Synapse will be going to the hospital too. He knows nothing about tech. So.
Synapse, okay.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go. Definitely. I'm gonna go to the hospital.
Hollywood, okay. So then last we got Glare, I guess.
I'll go with the rest of them.
Go with the rest of everybody? Okay, all right, okay. Easy enough, okay. All right. So to make things simple, we'll just say maybe that it's about about 4 or 5 in the early evening, okay? And you guys are able to take a smaller ground transport vehicle, we'll say, Hero Corps party van, and you guys are nearing. Now, which hospital are you guys going to? Are you guys going to the large?
The one with frickin' Crypt Keeper.
Well, okay, he is the director of the mortuary of the Avalon City Hospital, and I can't think of the term, but his main offices, I guess you want to say, or his home hospital, if that makes sense, it's called Mercy General. Okay, and
Well, if that's for like,
That's in the Bay Area.
is my instincts would be to start there.
I didn't hear you. You said what?
If that's for like his office is, my instincts would be to start there personally.
Okay, so Mercy. Okay, all right. Okay. So you guys head there, and Mercy is basically a very kind of like prestigious hospital, very selective, and it's not as large as the main hospital, the Avalon City Hospital, but it has a lot of we'll call it clientele from the wealthier part of town that it's located in. Okay, it's known for doing a lot of. It's got like spas there, and it's known for doing a lot of cosmetic surgery and stuff like that, and a little bit, not necessarily holistic medicine, but it's a lot more. It has a lot more. Let's say experimental, or we'll call
Alternative.
Huh?
Alternatives.
Thank you. Alternative medicine. Thank you. Yes.
I've been there a few times because my stepmom likes to go there.
Okay. There you go. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So you know how exclusive it is. Okay.
Yeah, she loves the cosmetic surgery.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Good. Okay. Cool. All right. So you guys basically more or less are nearing the hospital. So how do you guys want to proceed? Because you guys are not looking like normal normal customers. Everybody's geared up, I guess, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we can go for official inquiry, do it that way, or just say we're just investigating certain missing people to see if their body's here to get inside or talk to McNamara. Or we can go the stealth way, which I don't know if Tempest is capable of doing.
Whoa!
But
Bitch here.
no, but yeah, that's like unless someone has another idea, whatever.
Well, it's a little hard for me to be stealthy since I'm in a giant suit of armor.
Right.
I got your back. Here, do we know? I assume that we had the intellectual prowess to get a blueprint of the facility, perhaps.
Of the city?
Of the hospital, Mercy Hospital.
Oh, that's not what you said.
No, I got a better one. Hollywood, could you bring up a schematic of the hospital in the computer yours?
I can.
All right, thank you, kind of, sir.
I can actually show you a three-dimensional blueprint of the building.
Ooh, excellent. See if you can locate McNamara's office.
See how that works, Tempest? See?
Well, I was going to turn to him and do this, you know, fucking RoboCop. So we have schematics. Is that right?
I can't.
Am I able to pull that up, Dave? Is that easy enough to do?
What's that?
Couldn't hear you.
Dave, am I able to pull the schematics up? Is that easy enough to do, or do I?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's
okay.
Does he know where? Like, does it label like where McNamara's office is?
Yeah, sure. Yep, it's actually his suiting a mortician. His offices are in the lower second sublevel.
Are we going to see McNamara? Are we going to see McNamara? We're going to see Corpus, right?
Yeah, seeing Dr. Corpus.
Okay. Oh yeah. Sorry.
It's all right.
We're not going to just storm in, though. We're going to just go in. We're going to go in incognito, or what are we going? How are we going to do this?
Oh, if they're in the sub-level, I've got this under control. This is even easier to
I'm assuming we're having this conversation in the vehicle on the way over there. I say I can easily walk in without really drawing a lot of attention, and you see my tactical clothing suddenly look like an intern's clothing. Like it just like digitally appears. Like I have like these blue scrubs with some blood spots on them, and like a long white coat and the stethoscope hanging over my neck. And
you should be a magician.
It looks like optical camouflage.
Yeah, I look a lot like like the doctors from ER. It looks very TV-looking doctor. It's not like real doctor, but like TV doctor.
You look like Clune Tang.
Yeah.
If Hollywood wants to enter through the front door tactically, kind of get the lay of the building, I'm okay with that. Tim doesn't have a problem with that, However, knowing that Crypt Keeper's office is on the sub-level, I'm fully confident that I can just burrow under the ground and pop in, if you will, which would definitely make it easy for our armored friend to go unnoticed as well, or anybody else who follow me.
But wouldn't that draw attention? What if you come out on the wall and there's someone standing there? You're gonna just knock them out, or are you gonna go say, "Hey, this is just the way I travel. We're just down here for visiting reasons."
I don't concern myself with such nonsense.
Well, you can't hurt innocent people all the time.
Look, as long as they're still breathing at the end of the day, I did all right.
Well, are we going there in an official capacity, or are we just...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Are we going official or non-official?
If we go in an official... If we go in an...
Broke up, Josh.
Oh, sorry. If we go in an official capacity, we're going to have to tell the person at the front desk why we're there. That's going to give Corpus time to make a quick escape.
What do you mean? He's innocent. What does he got to run for?
Here's the thing.
Well,
as far as Tempest is concerned, if you guys want to go in the front door, that's all well and good. I'm going straight to the bottom of the fucking barrel here and knocking on Corpus's door.
But like I said, what if he's innocent? He just what if he's just like someone like.
He won't need to run, will he?
All right. So what we can do is you can borrow through and bring everybody else that can't really work their way through the hospital the legitimate way, and I'll go through the hospital the legitimate way and just kind of do some recon. Because, you know, he won't really notice. He won't really notice someone just walking around in scrubs.
See, Hollywood gets it. We're on the same page here.
I'm thinking more official, but that's just me.
I mean, I could very easily pull up, like I said, a three-dimensional map, and you can very easily map out the best route through the ground that is going to bypass any kind of electrical wires and pipes that run for water and everything. So you won't cause any kind of natural disasters or like flood the maternity ward or anything like that. We don't want any of that kind of things to happen.
I kind of like here all this. How do you say opposition from Stratagem? I kind of look at him, catch his gaze. I'm like, swift as the wind, quiet as the forest, conquer like the fire, steady as the mountain. Stratagem.
You're a rock. That does not relate to you at all.
Does that mean anything to you?
No, it does mean that someone should be out here watching just in case you do tip him off, and someone should stay outside the hospital and do surveillance outside.
I kind of nudged Synapse on this guy's Stratagem. Didn't even know who the hell Sun Tzu is.
How do you know who Sun Tzu is?
That's a good question.
No, well, okay.
That's a legitimate question.
Tempest is fairly well read, despite.
I heard some hesitation there, pal.
His gruff exterior stems from the incident.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, I do well.
All right.
Okay.
So I want to stay outside and find a person to oversee the hospital from outside. So that's
not a bad idea.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
And then Hollywood's inside, undercover, and y'all can go through the basement.
Oh, well, thanks for the permission to go ahead.
Well, I'm just making sure all the bases are covered and we have a plan. So that's our plan. Okay.
Hey, I'm Synapse. I run the hottest nightclub in the city. I'm gonna walk in.
Do you have your shirt on or your shirt off?
Oh, my shirt's off.
Off.
It's just like jeans, boots, and just tattoos.
Hey, Synapse, we could always just find a gurney and a blanket, and I could just wheel you into the morgue like you're a dead body.
Or
Take off,
OD.
put a little toe tag on you. Why not?
Pretty sure the cat sitting on the gurney will give it away.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the cat. Hey, it happened in Men in Black. I saw that movie. The cat just followed the dead body in. No one, it came with the cat. What can you do?
That's the kind of officer we need, the one referencing pop culture for his stratagems.
Okay. All right. So, Dan, well, first of all, Josh, is Synapse buying that or no?
No, he's
Okay.
real.
I didn't think he was.
It
It was my poor attempt at humor.
Okay, I just had to check. Okay. All right. So Dan, Hollywood can basically head in, without any problem. Are you keeping in contact with the other guys, kind of giving them the lay of the land, or how are you doing it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
My new communicator, David, looks like one of those sweet like '80s earrings that like dangles like real low, with like all the bling.
Yeah, it looks perfect for you. Sleaze Couture. There you go. Okay. All right. Okay. So make a long story short, Dan, Hollywood finds himself after taking the elevator down. He finds himself in the, I guess we'll just call it sublevel B. Okay.
Is Synapse with me, or is he just in the front door?
I'm walking with you.
Okay. All right. Okay. If Synapse is walking with you, you have gotten a couple of nasty stares and actually a couple of words from some of the administration, like the nurses and stuff that are there. basically telling Synapse that he's a barbarian for walking around with no shirt on in the hospital. Okay?
Every time they say something, he just reaches into his pocket, pulls out a card that has Synapse on it and the address of the nightclub, and hands it to him.
Well, you know what? I forgot actually because he's a known metahuman, so he's out there. So actually, you get the stares, and they kind of you can still pass out the card, but they kind of look at you kind of like you're somewhat of a rock star almost. You don't know whether or not. Well, I'll put it this way: all of the attention is not necessarily overwhelmingly positive, but it is attention.
It actually works in my favor. People are not paying attention to me really now. So
Exactly.
I'm winning even more. It's perfect.
If they're staring at me like I'm a metahuman, he totally uses his powers to, like, TK the cards into their pockets.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay. All right. So after a couple of minutes of walking through the hospital, like I said, you guys find yourself on the sub-level B, and it's basically deathly quiet down here. The lights are kind of kept almost at a minimum, The overhead lights are kind of looks like they're on like a dimmer of some sort. Okay, but there still is sufficient light to see where you're going, and you guys can smell like the formaldehyde scent pretty strong in the air as you guys are down here. Okay, and then down the hallway, you guys actually pass up a large set of double doors that have morgue labeled over them, and up the hallway you see a sign directing you to it says Director Mortum offices. So that's Dr. Corpus's his offices are up the hall.
Okay, I head down that way.
Okay. All right. So let me jump to the other guys for one. Actually, Dan. What is Hollywood telling the other guys then while you guys are making your way there?
I'm basically calling out quietly as we're walking down what the activity level is. If I see any security, if I see any cameras, and when we get down to the basement, I'm calling out basically what the surroundings are, and tell them that the Synapse is with me.
Okay.
Let me know when you're in the basement.
Okay. All right. So is Tempest coming in blind more or less, or what?
No.
Yeah.
Well, in a sense, yeah, I guess.
I mean,
He would have checked out the blueprints provided by Hollywood and put himself in such a position that he's aware of where Corpus's particular office is at.
mm-hmm.
Proceeded to use his powers to go underground.
Mm-hmm.
And just beeline straight for the room that would be his office.
Okay, so when you enter that room, how are you entering in there, in the offices?
So from the outside, you see like the ground almost begin to take shape, and it looks like a pair of cellar doors manifest from the earth, and they open, and stairs present themselves. And he walks down the stairs with Gleam in tow, and whoever else chooses to follow, and the doors, slam shut behind them, and the stairs begin to rise up as they no longer need them, creating, just a solid mound of earth. And as he comes to the concrete cinder block wall, he kind of claps his hands together and thrusts them out, and then separates them. And you will see the cinder block walls almost like some kind of puzzle, just maneuver and work their way back. As he steps through, it looks as though like a pair of Greek pillars, almost, on either side, with just, the earth and metallic figure of Gleam behind him as he steps through into the office of Dr. Corpus.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right, that's cool. So you don't blast your way in is basically what I was wondering. But okay, all right. So as as Synapse and Hollywood, you guys are at the office doors, okay? And you hear a voice speaking inside the room, and kind of through like the frosted glass of the door, you can kind of see a figure moving around inside.
So, Synapse, what's the deal with the cat? I've been meaning to ask you.
It's my pet.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I'm new with HeroCorps and everything. This is literally my first day, but like, I mean, I'm liking this unto a recon mission. Don't know a whole lot of cops that take their pets with them when they go.
Just seems to follow me.
Oh, okay. Aren't you worried about it getting hurt?
No, I can protect it.
Oh, okay.
You see the cat is actually looking up at you, Hollywood, as you're talking to Synapse, almost like it can almost understand what you're saying. And as Synapse kind of gives his reply to that, the cat kind of looks at you again, and it looks like it may even have winked at you.
Yeah, and its eyes kind of subtly glow for a second.
Well, I come from pets are pretty rare, so I'm not going to begrudge you your companion.
Anyway, I look at Hollywood. You want to do this quietly, or should I rip the door off the hinges and let me walk in?
Why don't we start quiet and move up from there? We have this thing in the police department called a continuum of force. Let's start on the low end.
Sounds boring, but okay. He kind of looks over. I've actually became more popular as a metahuman than I was as a rock musician. It's weird.
I'm starting to, after 8 months, I'm starting to pick up on this world's fascination with celebrity. So I'm not actually surprised by that.
Anyway, I'm gonna reach forward and open the door.
Okay, and hang on. What's Stratagent doing?
He's finding a place to perch and get a nice overview of the hospital, make sure he can watch this if he's leaving and who's not. I mean, like if there's an incident outside, or maybe if the doctor leaves, you'll spot him or something of that sort,
Okay.
or maybe knocking on any security or Omnicorps vehicle or something of that sort.
Okay, so let's say you find a nice fire escape.
Okay.
Okay, and you can get a pretty decent viewpoint, of the front area there, and of the street, either way.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Excellent.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
To me. All
Okay. Cool. Okay. And then Jerry Glare was riding along with Tempest, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Cool. Okay. All right. Okay. So Josh, Synapse reaches out, opens the door to the doctor's office, and it's unlocked. It swings open, and you see the doctor sitting atop a really large and kind of ornate-looking writing desk. The kind that has the pull-down, top to it and everything. Real old school looking and everything. And you see that inside of here, the first thing that you notice is that there's like a wave of that formaldehyde just hits you in the punches you in the face as soon as you open that door up. It's just almost overcomes you. And you see the good doctor turns and gives you both of you guys kind of like a very toothy grin as you guys step in, and he says, welcome, what can I do for you?
Dave, I'm gonna switch back to my standard uniform.
Okay.
It looks like, I don't know, I didn't show you guys this before. It looks like I don't know, is this screen share work? I don't even know how this thing works. But
Yeah. Get the picture set up first, and then hit the screen.
It looks like that.
There you go.
Like I said, man, you're like ready for a rave.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Just a second.
Okay. As Hollywood switches back to his uniform, basically, you see that this does little to phase the doctor. and he kind of puts his fingers, in a steeple, and kind of leans forward, and you kind of hear him mumble under his breath, most interesting. Yes, most interesting. And at that moment, the wall basically opens up, and you see that Tempest and Glare enter the room, the office, at the same time, pretty much. Okay.
Okay. So far, from what they've told me, is this guy like a criminal for sure, or like he's just a suspect? Like from what Tempest has told me.
Tempest
like,
thinks he's got him dead to rights, but he hasn't given you any information that's like 100% conclusive. There's no telling. It's mainly he's suspected of being up to no good. As you look at the guy, I'll describe him like I described him to those guys in a previous issue. But the guy looks like almost, I don't want to say a walking corpse, but he's very, very thin and gaunt looking, He seems to be like always kind of like hunched over, all the time because of like his lankiness and his height. His skin looks to be like very pallid, pale. He's got on a lab coat, and you see that underneath his lab coat he is wearing like a very kind of like a crisp and like starched shirt with a tie with one of those like looks like almost like an ivory pin of some sort attached to it.
As the doctor, steeples his hands and looks at us, Synapse's eyes start to glow, and his body is once again wrapped in that dark purple energy. And though he doesn't see this, anybody else that sees it will notice the cat's eyes are glowing as he activates his power.
Okay. All right.
He looks at the doctor and says, "Tell us what's going on with the missing bodies."
The doctor looks around the office and kind of takes all you guys in, as you guys pretty much like have him almost surrounded to a certain degree. And he kind of ignores that question, Josh, and he leans back on the desk, and he kind of almost as if he's speaking to himself, he says, "Yes, this is most interesting. Once again, my friends, what do I owe to this visit?" And you kind of detect a accent, Eastern European. You're not really sure what exactly.
So he sounds like the singer of a death metal band?
With less screaming.
The man asked you a question. He expects an answer, Crypt Keeper.
Okay, so Dave, I'm going to train my eye on him, my cybernetic eye, and I'm going to try to pick up his heartbeat and his respiration, and then I'm going to ask him, what do you know about Dr. McNamara or Lisa Simmons? Who are those people to you?
Okay, all right. So
his eye dilation, I'm going to check his respiration and his heartbeat.
Okay, all right. So hold that thought for a second while we go to Stratagent, who's outside. Okay.
Okay.
As you're chilling on that fire escape, okay, you notice that a pair of very expensive-looking luxury automobiles, sedans, pull up to the front of the hospital. Okay.
All right.
Some tough, some capable-looking guys in suits get out and open the rear doors, and you see that some guys in some well-tailored suits that look to be maybe a little bit too tight for them, possibly. They kind of get out, look around, give everything kind of the once over,
Mhm.
and with briefcases in hand, they enter the hospital.
I don't know if this would count as assessing fighting styles or armors, but is this suits like armored suits, like Kevlar suits?
Um, no, you don't notice that, but you do notice that there seems to be the telltale bulge of possibly concealed weaponry under those suits, though.
All right. Um, and there's no one sick with them or anything, right?
No.
Okay. I will inform the team that there's some unusual gentlemen entering the hospital. They are armed, most likely, so be on guard. And do they just leave the cars there, or there's drivers that move them away?
You see that the cars stay where they are, which is unusual. But you see that there are drivers. There's like two guys in the front seats, the driver and the
Okay.
front passenger is what I'm trying to say.
Are there are
Okay.
there any corporate logos or any markings on the
Yeah,
vehicles?
that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, yeah,
You see OCP.
yeah. Yeah, OCP fellows. So, yeah, so y'all might want to plan your situation accordingly.
Now, Dave, does he tell us that at the exact same time that I'm questioning the doctor about about
Mhm.
McNamara and Simmons?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
If y'all do plan to engage, I will deal with the driver and the passenger. So, just give me a heads up if y'all make a incident.
Okay, all right. So back to Dan then. As you guys are questioning the good doctor, and you kind of give his body, a scan, kind of like of the vitals and everything. You notice that um, things don't quite seem to be correct with the information you're getting. Uh, there doesn't appear to be any kind of signs of respiratory, you know, and his pulse seems to be a lot slower than normal, and kind of even though it's a lot slower, it's also a lot more erratic. Stop warming the dice up, or mute yourself, or whatever.
So he's got no respiration. He's not breathing at all,
That not according to your readings.
and he's got a really low and erratic heartbeat.
Hmm.
What about pupil dilation? Does he actually answer the question, or does he kind of look at it?
No, I'm giving you this first, and then I'll answer the question. I'm
Okay.
just giving you this information.
Okay.
As far as his pupils go, you see that they are highly dilated. Okay, so the pupils are huge. They're almost non-existent. They're so dilated, Or I
So,
don't know if
like,
dilated is the right word. I guess that's right. Yeah.
from what I know from human physiology, at least the humans that live on this planet, is he supposed to be alive at this?
You would think that there's definitely something going on with this guy.
So,
Either
I mean,
he's
this is
having
not
a stroke
normal
or a heart
physiology.
attack.
This is not normal physiology that for the
Nah.
average person in this world.
Mm-mm. He actually turns. Actually, he looks at you at Hollywood first, since you're talking to him, and you see that he reaches a hand out, and it's almost like he's kind of like what do I want to call it? He's almost like not caressing, but just kind of like that, the outline of your form, and he's kind of looking at you, and he goes, "You're a wonderful specimen, almost too perfect." And then he looks he looks at Tempest, and he kind of frowns, and And then he turns and he looks. He keeps going, and he looks at Glare. And when he looks at Glare, you see that there is a slight smile, that kind of curls at the edge of his mouth. And when he looks at Synapse, he nods as well. And actually, he looks back at both of you all again, and he says, I can't believe how fortunate I am to have all of you here. It must be fate. And then he slowly starts to stand up.
So he completely ignores my question about Simmons and McNamara. And goes in Creed mode, basically.
He waves his hand after that, and he says they are of no consequence. He says what's only important is the here and now, and that you, my friends, are here now. And he starts to kind of pace around the room a little bit.
So I'm curious, like when he says how fortunate he is to have us all here now, is there a tone to this voice?
He sounds very confident and actually very pleased with himself.
Okay.
And you see that as he begins to pace the room, he puts his hands behind his back, and he kind of takes a step, and then he turns and he looks at Hollywood up and down, and yes, very good. You'll do quite nicely. And then he kind of takes a few more steps, and he kind of glances at Synapse, and yes, the bone structure, it may do well, yes.
I'm gonna rough him up.
Huh?
I'm gonna rough his ass up.
Okay. How so?
So Tempest is just going to take almost one step forward and thrust his hand out, almost like a martial arts palm strike. Simultaneously, everybody in the room would notice the wind pick up a large gust and move towards the Crypt Keeper. And his lab coat and his tie would flutter as he's lifted up off the ground and just pressed into the wall. From this just freakish wind that Tempest is manipulating and compressing him into the wall.
Okay. All right. So you do that. And he slams up against the wall. And you see that his body kind of almost puts you can kind of hear the drywall kind of crack beneath the violence of that, behind him. As he slams up against the wall, and you see his glasses kind of, go to one side or whatever, and he cranes his neck, and, he looks at you, what do you say?
The man asked you a question. I expect an answer.
Okay, so, Dan, does Hollywood have any kind of issue with this line of questioning, or this method?
Oh no. In my world, we use strong arm tactics all the time.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So what do you want to ask again, Dan? What does Hollywood want to ask him again, Dan?
I definitely know that what he's doing now is against the. I don't know. Is the laws of Avalon pretty similar to our laws today in society? Yeah. So I know he's bending the law in this society, but my world is very much the very Judge Dreddy kind of world. So, there is no lawyers, and what he's doing right now is totally fine.
Okay, no, that's fine.
So
okay.
Like I said, it's only been 8 months, so I'm still having a hard time separating the two places.
That's fine.
And the two different, customs and whatnot.
Okay, all right. So
all I know is this guy's creeping me out. So I mean.
Well, then I'm doing my job because he's supposed to be creepy. So he begins to kind of cough and laugh, And he says he looks at Tempest, and he says, "You fool!" He says, "You have no idea the forces and the powers that you're dealing with."
So, a grin kind of works its way across half of Tempest's face.
Yeah, because that's about
And he kind of, with this, this handout, you see him kind of begin to close it.
Mm-hmm.
and kind of pull away. And as he does, he makes almost like a vacuum around where this doctor's face would be, just siphoning the oxygen out of his lungs.
Okay.
And he says, forces? I am a force of nature. What do you think you can do to stop me? Answer the question, or you've breathed your last.
Don't kill him!
The ivory pin that was on his tie, you see it falls off the tie and drops to the floor and kind of rolls to the feet of Glare. Okay, and as he's trying to apparently get his or recover from this vacuum that you're putting around him, and he's having, you ask him a question, then you put a vacuum around him so he has trouble speaking.
It's like he's having like an asthma attack. I'm not yet.
So I said, you're making it more difficult. That's what I said. You're making it more difficult. So as he's attempting to spout more nonsense at you, Daisy hisses and runs up under the desk.
I hate to steal your thunder, but according to my reading, he's not breathing. So I don't know how much intimidation he's actually going to do.
Make it snappy because they should be coming your way any minute.
Oh yeah, based on what's been going on, I completely forgot about what he was talking about in my ear. So
Okay.
I forgot. So I open my hand up and I bring up, I interface remotely with the cameras in the hospital, and I bring up all the cameras that I looked at on the route that we were taking down to the basement,
Okay.
and see if anybody's coming our way.
Okay, all right. And at that, you guys see, or rather Hollywood sees, as his gaze kind of goes blank as he's looking through the cameras, you see that there are three suited figures moving up the hallway, coming towards the doctor's office, and they have weapons in their hands. Okay? And you
Pistols,
also...
rifles?
Huh?
Pistols, rifles, what kind of weapons?
Actually, just to make it kind of cooler, you see that they depress these kind of like hidden buttons on their briefcases, and you see that the briefcases actually transform into some type of like submachine or energy weaponry or something.
Wow.
Okay.
Sweet.
Also, I need you to make a gather intel roll. Hollywood, I think. Hang on, let me see something. Yeah, do that.
I got a 10. I got an awesome.
Wow. Okay, cool. Okay. So you also happen to notice that there are two other heat signatures that are showing up, or how I won't even, well, yeah, I guess you could call them heat signatures. You know how on a hot summer day you can kind of look across the street and see the waves of heat,
Yep.
You see that, and two of these forms or heat blobs look to be bipedal, man.
And they're coming in with the two other
Yes.
guys,
Yep.
like shoulder to shoulder, basically.
Yep.
Okay.
And that was not like 5 went in or 6 went in from earlier. I was asking.
That's part of the same group.
All right, so I'm gonna wave my hand, and these holographic screens come up in midair, and you guys all see the same cameras that I'm looking at, and then I'm going to visually draw a digital circle on the camera where the outlines are. I'm like, we have incoming, and they don't look friendly.
Okay. All right. So, hang on. So, Stratagent hears that over the radio.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you're still sitting tight out there.
Well, Yeah, I'll sit tight. Say, like, y'all need to get out now, or if y'all going to engage, I need to know.
Okay. All right.
Engage.
You're right. Okay. Josh, what were you gonna say?
Okay, what did the cat react to? Was it the bone pin?
I don't know. What do you think?
Because I would get an instant sensation of whatever it reacted to.
Let's say the
Yes.
bone pin. Yes.
Okay, so if it reacted to the bone pin, this strange urge to protect the cat just snaps over him. He has no idea why it happens.
Mm-hmm.
He immediately says, "Everyone, brace yourselves," and he kind of snaps his fingers,
Mm-hmm.
and a dark force gate opens up on one of the far walls. He's instantly trying to get this pin the hell out of this room.
Okay.
So there's the dark force gate will open up, and it'll just start sucking everything towards it.
Everything. Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. So
That's the reason he said brace yourself. It won't suck him or the cat.
everybody else though. Okay.
If I may be so inclined when he says brace yourself,
Yeah.
Tempest takes this into a very literal sense and almost sinks into the ground about ankle high, quite literally making himself firm with the ground. And I would like to extend this kindness, if you will, to the rest of the party and bring them.
Do you ask or do you do it?
Oh no, I'll just do it. He says brace yourself. I'm bracing myself and the whole party. And if they want to get sucked into the gate, then by all means break free.
Okay. All right. So what you need to do then is looking at Tempest's character sheet. And actually, guys, I hate to say it, but we made this. This will probably be the encounter for the night. So we didn't get as far as I wanted to, but we'll get this going. But Heath, this would be considering, or this would be considered to do simple elemental constructs. Okay, but you're trying to do it to multiple, targets or people. Mm-hmm. So first of all, you stop the wind effect. You stop screwing with the doctor, basically, is what I'm saying. Okay, so he falls to the floor, and then since you're trying to create these simple elemental constructs, but to everybody else in the room, mm-hmm. It's going to be a push. Okay, so it's going to
speaking my language.
It's going to be a difficult push. So roll your 2D, just a straight 2D6 roll. Tell me what you get.
11. Is it a maneuver? If it's maneuver, I'd get the 2.
No, just 2D6 straight. That's it.
All right, it'd be 11.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, just so you guys know, mechanically speaking, since Tempest was successfully able to push this move, he succeeded with it on a straight roll. Okay. He can basically add this to his power profile. So basically, we can just say that he can affect other targets, within, a close area, around him, room size area, whatever, more or less, So the next time he wants to do something like that, he won't have to push his abilities to do it. It's just part of his power profile. Okay. But actually, the catch is that. Actually, he did it. Yeah, he got an 11. So there is no no if and or but to it. So you do it.
You mean I pushed myself and didn't get hurt?
Yeah, because you rolled higher than you usually do. Right. Okay. All right.
11 2d6 is pretty epic.
Yeah, it is. So long story short, you guys see the portal open up, and it's just a gaping hole of blackness. Okay, and from what Josh is telling us, it just has it's almost like it's basically a big suck hole is what it is. And all of a sudden the concrete and carpeted floor from beneath your feet just kind of molds up around you guys' the base of your legs up to like your knees, let's just say. Okay. and is holding you guys fast. All right. So there is no like mechanical initiative to this game. It's pretty much just as the narrative demands. So I'll just start to the left and move to the right.
Does it suck Frankenweenie in it?
What'd you say?
Does it suck Frankenweenie in it? Corpus.
Actually, yes, it does, because the doctor was not. I would assume that you didn't try to hang on to the doctor, right?
I have a question. Where's the stuff that gets sucked to go?
That's what we're gonna have to find out.
It goes into the dark
we'll
force
say
realm.
this. We'll say that the doctor yells, and you see that he grabs the edge of the desk, and you guys can hear the wood crunch with the strength of his grip. Okay, as he tries to hang on for dear life. Okay, I'll throw that out there. Okay. So Hollywood is first, and the office doors behind you guys explode into the room off their hinges. Okay. All right. So Hollywood is first.
Okay. So using my my number one drive is protect. So using my protect drive, I'm going to immediately open up the interface in my hand and connect with whatever I need to connect. Like if there's a computer nearby, or if there's a junction box in the room, I'm going to connect with that, and then I'm going to sound an alarm in the hospital to have them evacuate like all non-personnel, obviously doctors aren't leaving their hospital, but everybody that doesn't need to be there just leave. Like I don't know what.
Hospitals have alarm codes, and each one means a certain type of thing, and so you can do that. So it's all non-essential personnel need to evacuate.
So that's my action.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you can do that. That's no problem for you. Okay, all right. Heath, you did your action. Okay, so let me keep going. So Jerry, what is Glare doing?
Okay, so you said the door just burst open?
Yeah, well, I won't say an explosion. The two doors just get knocked off their hinges into the room, and if you look to see, I guess you can. It's not a problem. You see two of the Paladin Initiative figures kind of like come out of like a stealth mode, and they appear there. And behind them, you see three other guys in the suits holding some type of weaponry in their hands, bringing it to bear.
But the first thing I saw was two paladin robots.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to raise up my arms and I'm going to fire laser blasts at them.
Okay. All right.
Them being here isn't a good thing.
Okay. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to do a takedown maneuver. Okay. So it sounds like you're just trying to take them out. And okay, one thing real quick and as you guys read the rules, you guys will be able to tell me what you want to do more specifically later on. But basically, the way the takedown maneuver goes is you kind of have a couple of choices. You can decide that you want to just go all out, without any concern to yourself or anyone around you, basically to do as much damage, for lack of a better word, or as much effect as possible. Or you can attack with a little bit more finesse and be more aware of what your offense is doing to the environment and to what's going on around you. So, Jerry, do you just want to go all out, for lack of a better word, balls to the wall, or?
Yeah, I'll do that because he's probably been startled by seeing there's two of them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So he's just gonna immediately go to try to damage them as much as possible.
Okay. You guys hear in unison. You guys hear like a kind of like a some of you guys may not know, but I think most of you guys know. Nobody's here is that young. But I don't know if you guys know how it used to be when you could connect it with a modem. You'd hear that warble and that screech and everything, the data, you hear that, okay? And then you hear metahumans detected, priority one eliminate, and you see the
Talking
two.
about that the old AOL Connect
Yeah,
sound?
exactly. Yeah, you hear that. Yeah, that's what you hear. Yeah, and you see the Jerry Glare sees their hands raise up, and you can see a glow as they ready their weaponry coming towards you. So go ahead and make your 2d6 plus your smash maneuver or roll stat, as I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay,
it's
so it was
2d6
11.
plus smash.
Huh?
2d6 plus smash.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
So what you got, Jerry?
Hold on, let me.
Oh.
Ugh, terrible roll.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. So what your smash is 0, right? So
Yeah.
that is a 3, a 4,
Yeah.
4. Okay. So now here's what can happen. Okay. You can either roll with this, go with this, or you can decide to burn a bond that you have and basically push that to the lowest level of success, basically.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with burning a bond.
Okay. So according to what we talked about earlier, you've got, what do you have? You have 2 bond with the city, you have 3 with law enforcement, you've got 1 with Hero Corps, and you've got 2 with the team.
I'm gonna take one of law enforcement because I'm destroying property in a
Okay.
hospital. I think that'll piss them off a little bit.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Makes sense. Okay. All right. So what that's going to do is that's going to bump that up to the lowest success that you could have, which was basically a 7 through a 9. Okay. So you are able to do what? You can basically put a moderate condition on those guys, and even though they're powerful, they are still considered mooks for this encounter. Okay. So,
Okay.
but they are tough. They're tough mooks. Okay. So, what does it look like? You see that your laser definitely does damage them somewhat. So, how does that look?
Let's see. I'll say that when I blasted at them, that it affected their visual center, so if they're having trouble seeing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So their optic sensors get kind of damaged. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool. Okay. I'm good with that. Okay. All right. So you guys see that they get like scorched basically by glares they're lasers, right, Jerry?
Yeah.
Where are they coming from?
Well, I said I raised my arms. They shot out of my hands.
Oh, they shoot out of your hands? Okay. All right. Okay. I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
I didn't know if they
like,
were like top mounted or wrist mounted things or okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
they're mounted right on top of my between my fingers, kind of
Mm-hmm.
on the top part of my gauntlets.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. All right. So you guys see that, and you guys hear more of that, like that AOL squelching and squealing going on, and then you guys kind of hear metallic, voices in unison, threat level, from alpha to beta, analyze and exterminate. Okay. All right. So Josh, what is Synapse doing?
Okay, so when he opened this portal, did I actually have to roll anything for that?
No, because that's not. Let me look at your looking at your sheet. And you updated your bonds, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, I
I
thought
didn't
you did.
burn anything.
No. I mean, we just changed them from last time what we had.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I thought you did. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Actually, okay, no, man-sized gate to the Dark Force realm. Okay, so no, that is a difficult ability for you, so you do it.
Okay.
And we didn't say anything before about there being any kind of like sucking to it, but just for effect, we can go with that. That's fine.
Well, I said it was like a singularity before.
Okay. Oh, you sure did. You sure did. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so it's not really a sucking, but well, whatever. That's fine. Yes, it is. Sure. Okay. So what do you want to do then?
Okay, I'm assuming the bone pin is out of the room.
If you wanted it to go inside the hole, it did. Sure.
Okay, he's going to turn around, look at the two.
Now remember, your legs are attached to the floor. Thanks to
I was
Tempest.
assuming I was hovering, but
Well, I didn't hear that, so.
okay.
If you wanted to speak up, I could maybe like.
Hey. It's not your turn.
I can still turn around and look behind me.
You can. Yeah. I'm just reminding you.
Yeah, so he's going to like kind of turn and look behind him, see the two robots, and he's instantly going to shut the gate off and reopen it on the wall behind them.
Okay. All right. So that's okay. So you do it. So you close the gate and then reposition it and open it again. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Cool. All right. Okay. All right. So Teddy, outside.
Yes.
As you are on this fire escape, you hear a bunch of chaos and confusion going on over the communicator. A bunch of yelling and everything else. A bunch of howling wind, explosions, laser blasts, everything. Okay.
Are any the drivers doing anything in those two cars?
What do you see out there? Let me think.
Okay. Are people leaving the hospital?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you see people are running out of the hospital like they've lost their minds. And they are milling across the street and just, in confusion, like you can see them talking to each other and kind of looking back,
Right.
people shaking their heads like, we don't know, what happened, I don't know. You kind of hear snatches of that information coming up, okay? And you see that one of the drivers of the car gets out, and you see he has one of the kind of CIA earpiece, thingy. And you can see him holding his ear, and you see he's looking towards the hospital, and he's talking to somebody. Okay?
And there was passengers too, right?
Well, the passengers went, yes, in the front seat, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do this approach. I'll swing down there, kind of in front of the hospital, and everybody just stand back. Hero Corps on the scene. We'll help with the local fire department. And you can figure what's going on here. And basically, I'm just trying to see how this guy reacts to this.
Okay, all right. Well, you can have a twofold thing. You can do that, and then you also can roll a seize control move, because basically you're going to try to calm the crowd down and let them know that Hero Corps is officially at the site here and everything else. So that would be... Huh?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, all right. So that will be your 2d6 plus your influence stat.
All right. Yeah, I'll probably have to... I'm a -1, so I'll probably have to burn my bond.
No, wait until you roll. You never know.
I know, but I just have a feeling. All right. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, you're all
I told you I had a feeling.
Okay, well, all right. Well, you see that the crowd's kind of like, hey, they don't really know you, but you say Hero Corps, and they're kind of like, huh? What's going on here,
Right.
So do you want to actually influence them, or just want to let it ride the way it is? It's your choice.
Yeah, I'll burn the bond. I'll burn it with the Galatnix, because after a while I was sitting up there thinking, man, that was such a jerk move. Just sucking out the coal and leaving. That was such jerk, man. So I'll burn that bond with him.
Okay, all right. Okay,
All right.
that's fine.
All right.
Okay, so you as you kind of try to calm and direct the crowd more or less. You see people are beginning to move kind of further away from the hospital proper, to a safer distance,
Yeah.
And you can kind of already hear off in the distance sirens. Okay.
Right.
While you're doing that, you notice, I will give you, since you burn a bond, I'll allow you to overhear one of the drivers of the car. You hear him say, yes, Director Simmons. The strike team has entered the building, but we have somehow temporarily, I'm sure, lost contact with them. No, I don't know what happened. They had things. I was told that they had things under control. What are your instructions? Okay, you hear that?
Okay. Yeah, so I'll just basically stay out there, help people, help people out if they're like having problems leaving the front door. I'll help them to the other side. You
Okay, you seem
know,
okay.
doing the hero thing.
Uh-huh.
Waiting for the emergency services to arrive.
Okay. All right.
But basically, I'm kind of watching those guys as well, see how they react.
Okay, cool. Okay, no problem. All right. Okay. All right. So back to you, Dan. What's going on?
Okay, so are we still like things being sucked in the room, or like we still stuck in?
Yeah, Synapse opened a portal, a dark portal, closed it, kind of moved it away from you guys, and then opened it up on the other side of the room, closer to the paladin robots that are there.
So our feet still being constrained by the ground?
Yes, that has not changed yet.
So I mean, are these things to my back now, basically? Because
Yeah, more. Yeah. I mean, you can you can twist to the side and see them, but yeah, more or less, sure.
Okay, so and I assume I'm close enough to the wall that I was able to access whatever I was able to access to
Yeah, yeah, we
activate
can.
the emergency system. All right, I want to do let's see. What are the robots are like powering up? What are the guys in the suits doing?
Uh, they're basically trying to see who they can get a shot at, more or less, as soon as they can. They haven't had a chance yet, though. But their weapons are at the ready, and
Okay, so
you can see when you glance at them, you see that they kind of have these kind of like blue blocker glasses on, dark
mhm,
shaded glasses, and you can kind of see like targeting reticules kind of on them, as they kind of
okay.
cross reference and lock in and stuff, and they're kind of like deciding who they're gonna light up first. And I think they're starting. It looks like they're deciding upon Synapse.
All right, I'm gonna try and I'm gonna attempt a distraction move.
Hmm.
Um, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to create um, I'm going to quickly scan these robots that are powering up and attempting to attack us,
Hmm.
and then I'm going to create two replica versions of them coming in behind the the guys in the suits.
Hmm.
Except I'm going to make it look like they're powering their weapons up just the same way that I'm watching these other guys do that, and pointing them at the guys in the suits.
Okay, all right. So you're basically making some replica bots that are gonna be aggressive towards the guys in suits, basically.
Correct. To see if they, I want them to look like they just came into the room and they're about to attack them. So that they,
Okay.
you know what
All
I mean?
right.
So just
Okay.
to take the focus off of them attacking my teammates.
Okay. All right. So let's see here.
And then I'm going to, I want also, if you'll allow me to do it, I want to start doing an active scan. Since this is exactly what we were looking for with these guys, I'm going
Uh-huh.
to start doing an active air scan of any um, cellular or radio contact.
Okay. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to do both of those at the same time. Which one do you want
Okay.
to do first?
My protect is still kicking in, so I'm gonna try to protect my teammates by creating the diversion.
Okay. That's a good. Dan, that's actually a very good idea. Um, as a side note, I was thinking, I don't know if any of you guys have ever played Fate before, but I was wondering if there was any kind of way to basically incorporate like aspects into this game, and actually the maneuver, investigate, protect, that the stats. That's kind of a good way, because what you're kind of telling me is that Hollywood's nature, is to basically be protective, and that's
Correct.
kind of his go-to all the time, and
Well, I'm
that's
a
kind of
cop, so
interesting.
I'm always looking out for my teammates' back. I mean, that's
Yeah,
my at heart.
that's very interesting. I don't know. I may have to incorporate that into this game. That's a good idea. Okay. So what you're gonna do then is basically, I think we're gonna have you. Let's see here. I think what you're gonna do is you're gonna do an aid maneuver. Okay.
Maneuver.
Because
Okay.
basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to distract those guys from any kind of uh, offensive thing that they may be doing towards Synapse when they can. So it's going to be 2d6 plus your team bond.
Oh, okay. So that's one.
Okay.
All right. So I rolled a 5 on the die.
Oh,
I guess
actually, hang on. Oh, hang on. Wait a minute. Or with this, well, you're not redirecting the attack to yourself. You're actually no. We're right. Add your protect to that. I'm sorry. I'm reading the maneuver. Instead of your bond, add your protect to that. And tell us.
that's also a +1.
Okay. All right. So what's your total?
I got a 5 on the die, so my total is 6.
6. Okay. All right. So a 6 would be a failure. So do you want to bump that up by burning a bond?
Yes, I'll burn the final bond that I have with my sister, since it's
Oh
an 8
boy.
months I found
Okay.
her.
All right. Okay. Burn bond with sister. Okay. How do you well, we'll worry about that later. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out what that means later. Okay. All right. So that's going to give you just a basic, or it's kind of almost like a partial success. Okay. All right. So what that's going to do is you can do a couple of things. Either you can give somebody a bonus to on their next maneuver towards the bad guys, okay, or specifically towards the guys in suits, okay, or you can reduce the effectiveness of pretty much like make their next attack do less damage, okay, or you can redirect the attack to yourself. So since you were kind of distracting them, you didn't say you wanted to redirect it. So either you can give somebody else a +1 to do something to them, or you can make their next attack a little less effective. Which one do you think you want to do?
Either one of those is fine. I mean, it was a distraction move, so.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I guess the most appropriate thing will be to say that whoever they fire at next will be harder for them to hit. So.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
+1 to their maneuver.
Okay. Cool. All right. Okay. All right. So let's see here. So Heath, what do you got?
I want to fuck them up.
What does that mean?
So the doors blew open.
Yes. You see a total of 2 paladin robots in the front, eyes flaring, arms raised up, ready to blast with their disruptors. You see a couple of guys in suits with some kind of fancy-looking weaponry pointed in the room, trying to, and you see the red dots are going towards Synapse. You see behind those 2 guys 2 more paladin robots bringing their weaponry to bear. It looks like they're gonna like blast those other guys right out of the way, but their weapons are hot too.
Well, we can't have that. So I will almost like subconsciously, you know, now that the the singularity seems to have dissipated. You know?
No, it's still there. Singularity's still there. It just moved away from you guys and opened up closer to the. I'm sorry, it moved up over closer to the paladin robots.
Well, here's how noticeable is the force? Say I decided to
very noticeable. It is a singular. It's a black hole, pretty much like a baby black hole.
So
right, Josh?
If I decided to let everybody else go, they might get sucked up in it.
Possible.
Yeah, it's like a baby black hole directly behind the robots.
So you know, like a poisonous sidelong glance kind of gets shot at Synapse, like fucking idiot.
That's how you guns do it, man. You know.
Holding me back here. Well, holding everybody else back. I can still walk around just fine in this. But...
So what are you gonna do?
All right, I'm going to seeing the situation. They're all kind of like bottlenecked in this doorway, right? From what I can tell.
Yes.
So you'll see Tempest kind of extend his arm out, his hand, you know, fingers thrust up, and begin to move his other hand over top of it and begin to just move faster and faster and faster, like a small, almost like cyclone begins to form in his palm. And as he does this, he brings his fingers and closes it. And when this happens, it begins to, the same aspect begins to manifest in front of him. And as he raises his arm up, it grows in height and force. And, you got like this 7.5 foot, just kind of tornado just whipping him. Then he brings his arm forward and punches out. And as he does, this tornado, as if, following his beck and command, as it is, rushes forward, whipping back and forth, buffeting and scooping up these guys and these robots, and kind of begins to hopefully smack them into each other and just bash them into the wall and keep them inside this little cyclone.
Okay. All right. So make your takedown move, and it sounds like it will be using your maneuver because you're selectively choosing targets, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Takes a little more finesse to do that, I would think.
Okay. 14.
Okay. Okay. All right. So,
I rolled a critical.
let's see here. So with that, describe what happens then.
Yeah, you see the cyclone just move forward. Pieces of dirt, debris ripping up along the ground, kind of giving it shape. Allowing people to kind of see it in motion. Otherwise, it's just air. It's invisible. And, it scoops up a couple of these men in black, if you will, and they kind of just move in a vortex-like pattern and smack into and bounce off each other, and almost like ping-ponging out. But the air keeps pulling them back to just bounce and smack off of each other, and doing likewise as it moves through the doorway. These robots kind of lose their footing and get off kilter and get swept up in this and become part of this amalgamation of metal and flesh, just beating off of one another, moving out to the hallways, scooping everything up in its path,
Okay.
and kind of just like smacking back and forth off of this wall.
Okay. All right. So as you sweep up, basically long story short, what he did was basically he forced a change of location. Okay. So he basically moved his targets from where you guys were to somewhere else. Okay. And then what he also did is he pretty much did, he basically did that as well with an all-out attack, basically. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So when you do that to create as much, do as much damage as possible, basically to your opponent, with the takedown maneuver, more than likely there's going to be a consequence for doing that. So
Sure.
as Tempest basically whirls up these guys in this small twister that violent twister that he created, you see that one of the paladin robots that was at the doorway, a blast from its weapon from its hand erupts as it gets dragged into this twister, and starts to, guys can actually hear and see kind of like sparks begin to fly as its limbs and things are compromised. One of these disruptor beams grazes across the front of Tempest's forehead, and so he's actually stunned as this happens. Okay, so you take a minor condition of being stunned. Okay.
Yeah.
Who are his targets? Just the robots or the guys?
The men in black.
All four of them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything in the immediate doorway, like this bottleneck, I'm just sending this thing out to scoop up.
Oh, okay.
So you guys see like the drywall and the ceiling panels fall, the lights out there. You know, you can see sparks and electricity and everything as everything just kind of just gets swept out and down the hall into the elevator lobby at the end of the hallway, and then everything's pretty quiet.
Now, here's my question, David. Don't you generate some kind of like options or something when this happens? I've never done this before, but I remember like Wonder Man doing this crap where like if you roll high enough you get extra stuff.
Well, you basically told me what you wanted to do, so I chose for you basically.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Keep it going, yeah. But yes, you do. Because you rolled so high, you got to choose 3 different options for your move. Basically, is how it works. So it's kind of this game. Well, I guess all apocalypse games are like this, but it's kind of almost you really almost want to kind of say, yeah, I want to attack the guy or whatever, you know. But you really kind of need to roll and then see what your options are. But because normally when we describe stuff that our characters do, we mainly do it the other way. We say what we want to do, then roll and see what happens. You know, go that way. So basically, since you told me you wanted to shoot them down the hall, you know, by creating a small twister or whatever, basically I had you do as much damage as you could while forcing a change of location. So that was three actions, and there you go. So. Just so you know, I'm trying to interpret what you guys want to do as best as possible, and once you guys get more acclimated to the rules, then you guys can tell me better, you know, which is cool.
And you still see 2 robots planted on the ground, and they're pointing their hand weapons at where the guys used to be.
Right.
But
there's 2 that weren't even moved, right?
Yes.
So
So
these
here,
debris that went through them, like it went through them like they weren't even there.
yeah, you see Tempest like a little, like he kind of furrows his brow, a little perturbed at this, like just scooped up, 4 of these things and put some oomph into this, and these 2 ain't moving, and he's visibly like angered and kind of leveling his gaze at them as if they're going to be the next focus of his fury, annoyed that they weren't affected, unaware that you are capable of making holograms.
Okay. All right. So that being said, Josh, do you close the singularity?
Yeah, he'll drop it as soon as they're no longer there.
Okay. And then Heath, are you going to let everyone loose now?
If he closes the singularity, yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'll be a team player.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing. With that being said and done, we're gonna go back outside to where Stratagent is. Okay.
Okay.
And
What happened to Corpus?
oh,
Who cares about that guy?
you know what? How much of a jerk do I want to be? Let's say that once you guys, I guess once because that was you that asked that, right, Dan?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So once you guys hear Hollywood say that, you guys turn around and look, and you guys don't see him. You just see Daisy sitting there preening herself, and kind of, that's all you see. How's that? Okay. Now, back outside to Stratagent.
Okay.
The guys that were outside are going nuts now. Okay, you hear them almost, or you see them almost doing the curly shuffle. They're trying to figure out what's going on. And we've lost contact. They're going nuts, and they notice you finally. As you're kind of directing foot traffic, so to speak. And as you're kind of looking over your shoulder, trying to keep one eye on them and one eye on the crowd, they kind of notice you, and you see one of the guys points at you. And they get in their vehicles, okay, and you see they begin to speed off and just barely miss T-boning a fire engine that comes screeching up to a halt in front of the hospital. Okay,
Okay,
and then
last thing I heard at Locked Up on Me was that they pointed at me and they noticed me, and that's all I heard. Sorry.
yeah, and they speed off.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
they almost T-bone a fire truck as they're speeding off. Okay, and
Sure.
as you're looking at the OCP logo, on the side of the back of the vehicles, it's
Uh-huh.
almost real small. You really almost don't notice it.
Uh,
But that's when Stratagent gets the vision of the giant robots attacking the city, and that's how we'll tie it in.
sweet. Okay.
Okay, yeah, we'll tie it in that way, and then we're gonna end it there, guys, because it's 9:30 my time. So the only thing I'll ask now is there anything that it'll all be loose ends, of course, but is there anything that you guys would really want to decide as a team what your next actions would probably be?
Exfiltrate stealthily.
Well, I'm curious with between Synapse and then my mini Twister, are the robots and the dudes out of commission, or?
Yeah, they are out of commission. Do you guys want to examine them at all, or what?
Oh yeah.
I'll tell them, make sure y'all do that quickly or take it with you because the emergency services are here.
I would definitely throw it over to Glare.
Yeah, you got
Glare.
You got Hollywood. Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, Tempest will refer to you as Tin Man. Tin Man. Since he's clearly rocking, an Iron Man suit, and let that, fall on him to examine these robots. He certainly would know more about them than Tempest cares to.
Okay, so between Glare and Hollywood, what do you guys want to do?
Well, I mean, I'll scan them, obviously, to see what I can glean just from visual observation, and then I'll try to find some type of control panel or something that leads to their circuitry, their inner workings, and then do an interface check.
You're muted, David, or not? I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, Jerry. What about Glare? What's he want to do?
Well, he's doing that. I'll check one of the other ones, and I want to try to see if any of my technology was used in making this.
Okay. Does Glare have any? He has scanners built into his armor that can kind of do that kind of stuff.
Not really. I was just gonna more like open it up and
do it the old-fashioned way. Okay.
Yeah, do it the old-fashioned way.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
I will suggest over the communication link. If y'all do find recording devices in those machines, let's take it with us.
Okay. All right.
Wait.
So
here's the thing. I wanted to ask Hollywood, since he has the holographic projector, could he actually record an image of the schematics of these once we open it up?
Yeah, when I interface with them, I'll instantly know everything about how they work, as long as they don't have any security measures that keep me from reading that information. And so I'll have schematics basically. I can reconstruct the schematics of how they're built.
Okay, so just to help push the story in a specific way, Dan, give me another gather intel roll.
Okay. Bam.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Okay.
Awesome.
So you don't have any problem doing that. Okay. All right. So you don't have to decide right now. You can think about it, but you can basically get one freebie question about anything you want to know in particular, Dan, about the workings of these things. Okay, something maybe unique to them. It could be a fail safe, or or what their best attack is, or it could be anything. So think about that. You don't have to tell me right now. You can post it later if you want, or whatever. And then Jerry, you definitely know, just even by not only by some of the design parameters, but you also we never came up with a name for your dad's company, right?
Well, I have a name for it, so I can.
Okay.
You want me to tell you now, or?
You don't have to. You can tell me later.
Okay.
But
All right.
we'll just say that maybe some of the circuitry actually looks like it's been basically like taken directly from a distributor or somebody that was supposed to go to your dad's prototypes and was redirected to these guys. And then from your know-how, Jerry, or from Glares, these definitely do look like beta builds.
Okay.
Does that make sense? They're not 100% finished. You can kind of tell the way
They're more like prototypes.
Yeah, but it's not an alpha. It's more like they're halfway there, or we'll just call them beta.
Second generation prototype.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else anybody may want to? Josh, you got any questions or anything, or? Okay.
Well,
What?
I would like to inquire with my boy Synapse.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the Crypt Keeper?
Yeah, I'm looking around. I don't know.
It's singularity. Where it goes.
Possibly.
I don't even know where the hell it goes. So.
I know I can dump stuff back out of it if I concentrate hard enough.
Yeah, we might need to try that.
Okay. All right. So let me make that, jot that down.
Dave, before we unask the area, I'm going to go through the suits. I'm going to sample the tech on their guns.
Okay.
And then I'm also going to I'm going to snatch up their cell phones and any PDAs or computers that they have on them.
I will let you do that. Okay. And then as you pocket, you get a cell phone and a weapon from the Men in Black. That's when you guys hear the Avalon City PD hustling down the forcing the elevator doors open down the hall, and you guys make your exit. Okay.
Yeah, that's when Tempest goes back through his sweet ass green.
Yeah, I'm assuming we all go back through the Tempest burrow hole in the ground.
Yeah. And you guys can right, and you guys can reconnoiter, elsewhere. We'll say.
But make sure you disable the GPS in that phone.
You guys are good, man. Too many heads working together here. Okay, all right. So we'll end it there, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves, and I hope everybody felt as though they got a chance to, get in a little bit of spotlight there, with this size crowd. It is tougher than usual. But like I said, I hope I was able to make you guys feel like, you guys were able to participate and without sounding corny, add to the narrative, to the story, keep everything going. So
I had a blast as always, David.
Hey, I try, man.
Good time. Hey, and Dave, hey, thank you very much because you renamed my character, by the way.
Hollywood?
Yeah, because my son actually named the character because I was describing to him the powers.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I can't think of anything right now, so I'll use that. And that's why I wrote it in the narrative that the Hero Corp named him, because I didn't actually name him. but then you said when I was interfacing with that computer, you said the Matrix. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's perfect. That's actually perfect for my character.
Okay. All right. You're welcome. No problem.